Welcome, ladies in the group of the Fix My Metabolism session. As I was promising, I'm giving away two of these things, and two means that there is still going to be one available. Okay, there is two people in here, but there's still one available. And first and foremost, welcome to Addie and welcome to Elena. And first, I want to thank you because we spoke before. It takes courage to share some of the things you guys are going to share. And on top of that, I really want to, to give you the ability to be able to be successful in this journey and show other people how we are different than just, a simple health coach. Okay, perfect, excellent. So I'm gonna start asking questions, but before I wanna show you exactly why I chose to get you two in here, because I really feel like one of the main weapons in the past of ladies being successful in my program is the ability for you to be accountable to each other. To have, as you've seen it before, like you've seen people posting about walking, you feel like you want to walk too. You've seen it in the past as well. And I really feel like the success, or one of the major success when it comes to motivation, commitment, and support is the support you guys give each other. And now it doesn't make any context when we take somebody that wants to build muscle, or we would take a man bodybuilder and we put it together with a lady that, she needs to lose weight. But it does make a lot of sense when you're in the same journey, and especially being in the same journey of what we're going to talk about today. As I'm sharing the screen right now, you see 4 distinct phases in which my system really lives. If you're a woman that, you're not able to see results, you're not able to break your weight plateaus, you're not able to, feeling like whatever used to work before on losing weight and keep it off, it's no longer working, is because you're basically in one of these phases, okay? Today, I just took this one that represents the second phase, which is the weight loss. But today, we're gonna talk about the metabolism restoration phase. Both of you, as we talked before, as we talked on the phone, I figure out, and I told you, like your body is not yet ready to lose weight. And this is why every single time you diet, it represents a problem. Every single time you diet, it's a problem because you feel like, I'm not good on this diet, and it's not the other diet. I'm going to try the other one, but then the other one doesn't work, and you probably get right now, after trying for so long, that you need to restore your metabolism. Now, this is, I said it before, is one of the hardest thing you can do. Like, hardest thing you can do when you have the support of somebody, when you have the, because it's like you give your body something, your body reacts, you need to interpret the reaction, and then you need to make a change. And this is the hard part. Like, this can literally go for some people 1 week, for some people 1 month, for some people even 1 year. And this is the problematic part, because you essentially say to people, you might need to be okay with looking the way you are for another 6 months. And in a way, it's bad, but in another ways, like I always say, how long have you took to be in the situation you are, right? And this is basically the problem. Sometimes it's years. And like, if we can fix in 2 months, 6 months, or whatever the case is, something that it took a year, I feel like it's a good bargain. But right now, I want to start asking some questions, and we're going to start with Addie because, we spoke a little bit more. And I really, like I said to you, Addie, and let me just try, like, you can unmute yourself if you want. I'm trying to unmute you. Okay, perfect. So, we spoke, and I said, like, I asked pretty much everything, and I'm not the nicest person when I ask this thing, right? Like, you probably got that, but I really feel like in some, especially in this work, tough love work sometimes, because like when we ended the discussion like we ended, and now you're here, and you're still here, and you're taking action, I feel like, like it is a breakthrough that you need to start getting small breakthroughs, right? This is basically what it is. One thing that got me, Eddie, because like you both are here, and again, I said, I'm gonna put you together. You guys can choose to be accountability partner. I feel like you guys are nice enough to do that. But the one thing that you guys have in common, that you have localized fat in your stomach. As you age as a lady, before 20, everything used to work, and mostly store their fat on the lower hand. Whenever that changes, as people age, they store it more on the upper end, much like guys, right? One thing that struck me when I was talking to you, you told me, okay, but you really need to see what my body looks like. You need to see what my stomach is look like. And now I coach about more than 1,000 ladies, and like, so any kind of stomach, anybody that
Yeah.
50 kilos, 60. One thing that you said, okay, you sent me a picture and you said, please don't be disgusted. I mean,
Yeah.
first thing that I got, and again, this is nothing about you, but this is just in general, and I see this all the time. Like a lot of people being embarrassed the way they feel, the way they, yeah, some of them they say, "Oh, I haven't got good results about my diet. I won't post. I'm embarrassed," right? And when we start, I always say that it's like when people, because I would never, out of my wildest dreams, say we'd be disgusted or something. Like I would never, like, you know, like it's not something that is it in the DNA. But if you feel that way about other people feeling, right, there is something more to be done than just a diet or just changing the body, right? And this is very important because one thing that you see, you know, inside this framework here, when we share this, when we get to this, when you get to phase 4, you basically get the results. Like you are like inclined with what your body should look like. You know, this person represents a slender lady, but you could be the best. Like I want you to close your eyes, and this is the best version of you, right? And you basically here you only 50%. 50% is the maintenance. Most people lose results, and for two folds. Number one, they don't know how to theoretically, like tactically adapt to the diet. Like they don't know how to come out of a diet, if you want to call it this way. The second part is like they don't know how to build habits to sustain it. This is what we do in the work we're doing inside the challenge, inside the group. The third part, and this is like the most underlooked, is that people still, when they get there, it's like they're not happy, they're not fulfilled because they haven't yet in the beginning start to think, why am I getting there, right? Like when am I gonna get there? What's gonna happen? Meaning like, who am I? Like, how can I reconnect to my identity and be different towards what I'm doing versus the person I'm in today? And this is usually the motivational part that decides whether you are stopping something, whether you're starting something, whether you are, I always say, I just made a post yesterday, you make decision upon love and fear, right? You make two, like this is usually a decision, but it's also like the main decision you're making is when you are in too much pain. So I don't know. I asked you before. You can go as much deep as you want, but I have a frame on you that when you the way you were talking to me, there is this idea that you feel like sometimes you self-sabotage and sometimes like you're not worthy of something. So this might come from something like that happened before, whether it was something that if you share that, and again, I'm not, like I told you, I'm not giving you a script. You can be as natural as possible. If you
Yeah.
share that, it's very powerful towards you because you give yourself ability and permission to change, and you'll see that things a lot different. Why would you ever feel like your body is disgusting?
Um, so I'm not used to seeing myself like that. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not used to seeing myself like that. And because, well, I don't know if I should say genetically, well, all my life, I've been very, very skinny. I'm not even pro skinny either, to be honest. I'm not necessarily pro, oh, I have to be super skinny or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I have two kids, I have two children. And even after I had kids, I could manipulate my body. Like you said, women get to a certain age, probably. I don't know if that's what happened to me. But even after I had kids, I was still slim and I got into working out and I had abs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see? I even had abs after my children. So I think the thing is, my body is still a shock to me. And when the tummy thing happened as well, I was so confident. Oh, forget it. I'll get over this. This will go away in a few months because I was so used to doing my body used to work. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I think to me, it's still a shock the way my body looks. I think that was it. So it was about the tummy and the thighs and how everything changed. And I'm still maybe
Mm-hmm.
coming to, yeah. And I don't know if you call it vanity or anything, but
Does it
yeah, I
impact?
think that was it.
Does it impact just you? You feel like I'm going to ask you. I don't know if you told me before. I might have forgot. Are you
Yeah.
now in a relationship? Are you single? Are you married? Like, does that impact other people telling you that something about it, or is just something that you have going on for yourself?
Um, to be honest, I don't know if I'm in a relationship. Well, I'm coming out of a relationship, but I don't know if anybody has particularly said anything, about it, but then I tend to, I'm not as free as I was this, just like the photo, for example, me thinking, oh, it took me a lot to take that photo. It
Yes.
took a lot for me to take it. And I took it, I think maybe last year or something, when a lady sent me photos of herself. And this was in a group, a health group. There was a hormones health group. And she sent me a photo of herself. And she said, oh, let me see what you look like. These complaints you have about your body and your stomach. And I thought, oh my God, it took a lot for me to be that vulnerable to take that photo. So I don't know if anybody has particularly said anything, but I know how I feel. I know what I want to feel like. Yeah.
I think that if somebody said something about it, you would remember. Like this is not
Yeah.
the things that you usually forget.
Yeah.
It's just more so of the fact that we could be here probably all night, but the question is in that sense, but it's
I'm
like,
sorry.
no, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like that I would like to do that thing. Like this is something that like this is one of the first thing that we do inside
Yeah.
coaching because it's like uh, I ask you like, okay, why do you feel like then? Since nobody really said anything on that sense, why do you feel, right? I mean,
Why do I feel it?
right, and then when you can tell me if you want like it like you're gonna get to a point that okay, let's play that game. Why do you feel that way?
I think it's about what I said before. I had looked a certain way for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly my body changed, and I have lumps now in my. I'm sorry, I have lumps and bumps. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
On my side and everything that I'm like, oh gosh, I'm more conscious of them. Do
Mm-hmm.
you understand? And then I don't know, people, my family have said things like, oh, thank God you have meat on you now. But when I hear that, all I really think of is my big tummy.
Mm-hmm.
When they say, oh, you have meat on you now, you look so, I don't know. It's just, yeah, I don't think anybody
So
has
some of your
particularly
family
said,
said something then.
yeah, oh, you have meat on you now and everything, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's the bumps and the lumps on the sides and things like that. I'm
So
very
if
conscious of.
when you were like in let's say in shape, like did your what did your family say about you then?
When I was
Like when let's say when you had ab, what were they saying? Like what was different when you had abs and now?
Oh, I've gained a lot of weight compared to.
No, but I'm saying
I'm even.
perspective to other people, like you mentioned about your family. Like
People like. I don't know. People have their opinions. Some people prefer when they like when you're skinny, and some people like. I don't know. I'm Nigerian originally,
mhm.
and in Nigeria, it's changing a bit now. But some families still believe that the bigger you are, the healthier you look. Do you see? So, yeah. Does that make sense?
It does, but
Yeah. So some
in
people
a way,
actually feel
it's
that
something
now I
that
look
exists in
healthy.
your mind right now, right? Like it's not something that is not really validated because right now you're not in Nigeria or in London, I believe, or somewhere in
I'm in the UK. Yeah.
the UK, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But I did go home last year and it was like, oh, you look a lot better. You look healthy now. I don't know. It's
You
just
see, I
like
mean,
I
there is a
want to
lot of
look a
positive
certain way.
validation, right? Like, like, do you understand what I'm saying, though? Right?
People can give you positive validation out of ignorance. This is what I mean. They're not looking at the lumps and the extra fat I'm carrying in my tummy. They're just looking at my face has filled out a bit.
Maybe it's
Do you
just
see what I mean? You saw the
perception.
photo.
It's just like I understand. No, no,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
perception. But the point is, do you understand? Like, there is some work to do on you
Oh,
accepting
I get you on my
in
own
that sense,
self.
right? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
like I said, I can give you the body you want only for you to find another, let's say, issue in there, like some at some point or somebody else. Like, and again, it might not be about the body, but it might be about something else. Again, it's something that self-acceptance it should be at the root. Is a foundation
Yeah.
you need to work on,
Yeah.
and it's very important.
I
Um,
get that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And that I'm gonna have the same question to Elena, but then we're gonna go insight on why we are here, which that means that you've been burned several times in the past, and this is
Yeah.
also very important. Elena,
Okay.
I'm gonna mute you had it for a second. I'm gonna ask you the same question. When you say I want to get rid of, you said me very two things that I remember. Number one, it's really I want to improve my health because I don't sleep well. I have a lot of symptoms. The other thing, obviously, is about looking in a certain way.
Mhm.
That much like Eddie, your look right now doesn't reflect an identity that you either had in the past or you might not even have had in the past. Like you might have said, like I want to achieve the best shape which I never had. Like me right now, like I can tell you, I never achieved it. Like I don't feel bad about myself. For years I was dealing with my own body image insecurity, but I never got what I need to get. Like I never got quote unquote like that. Like
It's
like what the system perceived to be that somebody can help, meaning like the male cover model with all the abs and like this guy's the one can help us. Like I never got there. Like so I'm working on that sense. So it's
to
important for
me,
you to share what you feel your change needs to be for.
I think to me it's not that important to look as a model. It's more important the fact that I think my hormones have gone crazy, and that worries me because I wake up in the morning and I have like no belly, and then by nighttime I look pregnant, even if I don't eat anything. And I think there's something wrong, but I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. And I do try to, as you know, I've tried so many diets like keto or no low carb, no dairy, no sugar, no fructose. So at the end of the day, I started not eating anything, and then my hair started falling. And I don't know if that's due to hormones again or because I am undernourished. And so I went to the gym as well, but every time I go, I gain weight. And I think it's probably due to my high cortisol. So my body has gone nuts, really, and I need to fix it, but I don't know how.
Okay, perfect.
So it's not a matter of looking like a model, which would be great if I do, but mostly just to make sure I get my balance back.
What did the balance look like before? Before we share about why this is. I'm not gonna
Well, I
I'm not
used to.
gonna like I don't even want you to go in there on that specific. Like it would take forever. Why? Like that, like the that thing. But it's more about it's something that is not sometimes very good to say on Facebook. But anyway,
Before, my balance was if I wanted to lose weight, I would eat less calories, and then I would go to the gym a bit more. I like going to the gym. I like running. I like weightlifting. I like walking. So, and I also like dancing. I do tango. I do the salsa. So I do exercise, but lately every time I exercise, my cortisol goes worse, and I puff up. Like I keep getting really puffy face, and plus my body puffs up. So I can't even do exercise. It's come to a point where starving doesn't work to lose weight anymore, and the more exercise I do, the worse I make it. So what used to work doesn't work anymore, and I don't know if it's because of my age. I'm 45, so maybe my hormones got reduced or changed, or I'm not sure what happened. But yeah, I need help.
so thank you for sharing first, because again, like it did two very different scenarios, but a lot of courage to share it. Like a lot of people like to close in themselves and not admit those things. Anyway, why this is happening on a physiological level? Like it is because of three things, obviously. Metabolic slowdown, like by nature, like your metabolism slows down every year. Hormonal shift, yes, when you age, that happens, but also not only when you age, but it happens for when you have a pregnancy, when you have some sort of things that happen. And then muscle atrophy, like you mentioned that you go into the gym, and I want you to appreciate the fact that when you are saying I'm gaining weight, you might gain muscle, but you look puffy because on underneath the like on top of where underneath lies the muscle, there is fat, right? So there is water retention.
No, in the same day. So in the
Yeah,
morning I
yeah,
go
yeah,
to
I
the
know.
gym. The next day I gain weight
I
like
know.
a lot. I mean, you can see my feet are puffy, like water retaining
Water
puffy.
retention, yes.
And my hands have water retention, and my arms and my face. So the next day of the gym, I gain at least maybe a kilo of water. So
Yeah.
if I keep going to the gym, it keeps adding
Yes.
and adding, and I keep water retention, which doesn't go away. So at the end of the day, it becomes weight. So it never really leaves the body. It just
So
stays.
hold on, like what are you doing in the gym though? Like what is it like you do lifting or
Like
you just
running. I used to run about an
you do
hour.
cardio classes or something like that?
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm talking about
My favorite.
I'm talking about lifting. Like it's the one that makes sense for anybody. Is actually doing free weights or machines. This is
I don't do machines. I like cardio usually.
That's what you like, but at the moment that's not what you need. Like in your specific problem, the worst thing you can do, especially for hunger cravings, for cortisol things, like for all these hormones, which again they're not a make or break thing. The worst part people are gonna watch is like, oh yeah, that's me too, I have hormones. It's like, yeah, but that's not like we talk about it in the video. It's like it's a mini, like it's maybe acquainted for like 5% of something extra, but again, when you retain, like what happening to you is basically getting inflamed. Like, and if it becomes a chronic inflammation, then you don't obviously it's not productive, right? So this is kind of like, but I didn't understand what, like when we talked, I thought you meant gym, like lifting, and that was like, okay, that's a little bit weird. But anyway, most of the other, we call it other professional gurus, whatever you like, whether you documenting yourself or from others, and I know that some of you, at least like Eddie, I know you told me 2 specific case scenarios. You know, mostly they don't, whether they're like, and this is like the worst part, unfortunately, you see people looking great, like on Instagram, you see people looking, let's say with abs, some of them, they do bodybuilding contents and stuff. And then it's like, oh, I feel like she or he can help me based on that. If they don't understand that the physiology part, if they don't understand like the fact that when you're 40 or 30, whatever, you no longer, your body no longer reacts like you're 20, and you don't specifically address hormones, when you don't address that metabolism, then it's a little bit of a struggle. I wanted to share for a second, Eddie, especially, you know, you being very specific with me on the message. You try a few different things, and I don't necessarily to want into why this thing try, but I want you to tell me, you've been burnt in the past, and that's why you were like, oh, you know, I need to see that something is working, right? What was it that I said to you when you say, okay, like, you know, this didn't work? It's like I mentioned about something about not getting results, right? Share in a second what you did before and why you feel like, you know, didn't give you results, like from the other coaches you tried.
What I've done?
Correct.
Well, I've done keto, just like Elena. I've tried the keto diet, and I was doing very little protein, you know, carbs from vegetables, and lots of fats, you know, and the tummy did not go away. You know, the distended tummy did not go away, and I even got worse actually, because then I lost my energy. That was when the fatigue started. And then I did that for about 1.5 years. And then I tried the vegan diet, because someone told me, oh, I know somebody, blah, 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 blah.
Does this I mean, is this coaches
Yeah, I worked with a
okay,
keto coach.
I mean, they told to do that, like vegan and keto, right? Okay.
Somebody else, you know. I did keto and worked with a coach for about almost 2 years or 2.5 years. And then somebody told me about, I had an issue actually, that in any way. So somebody told me, work with a herbalist. I know this herbalist that has had a similar issue. And this was more hormonal, female hormonal issue. Anyway, I did a vegan diet for 1 year. And yeah, it didn't really help me. By this time, my hair was falling out a lot, you know, so it just felt like the issues were piling, you know, going from one thing. Initially, it was just my tummy, and before I knew it, fatigue, I'd added fatigue, hair loss, and also, and then I think I stopped working with anybody for a bit. I thought I'll do it on my own. You know, I thought I'll do it on my own, but then I realized that I needed help. It didn't work. Doing it on my own didn't help me either. And meanwhile, I was doing lots of tests as well. You know, so anyway, I reached out to a lady from a group I joined, and I worked with her for maybe 6 months or so. And it did feel like it helped a little bit, you know, in terms of energy. That was when I started to walk 10,000 steps for the first time. So it looked like it helped a little bit, but not totally, you know. It came to an end, and I then worked with the one I sent you a website.
Send me something, yes.
Yeah, I worked with this lady 2 years ago, and honestly, after a few months, I just knew that it wasn't going to help me, you know, because I was doing everything she said, but I was getting worse. And then I said to her that it looks like I may need to pause, you know, the program, because, and she could see it as well, you know, she could see as well that I think I felt like I needed to dive into my hormones, you know. So yeah, I don't know if that's I think that's a question you asked me. Is that all?
Yes, that's very specific. Now I'm going to ask more questions.
Yeah.
Like what I said to you, I said, why it didn't work? And you said, well, I don't know why. And I said, I mean, did they give you the money back or they guarantee you results? Because it sounds like you didn't get the
They
results.
always guaranteed me results. They always did. Oh,
But I mean,
you
like they
know,
haven't given the
yeah.
results or the money back, right?
No money back.
Cool. The other question I want, and this was just to show how many people out there, you know, promising stuff. And today we're here, and you guys are here, you know, with something that usually, like you asked me, Eddie, multiple times, and like how much is a call with you? And I would say if I would have to charge it, it would be something like 200 to 500, like in an hour, because like this is how much I value my time. But you're here for free because I really want to give you a breakthrough. Now I want to get a little bit deeper and because this, I want you to understand something, but I also want the audience to understand is that it doesn't, sometimes the way that you want to be coached from people or the way they promise you to coach doesn't represent the reality. And again, I'm going to show you like compared to what they doing or what they were doing, how we are different. But right now, like let's take the best one that of these two. It looks like the first one, the keto one, got a little bit better, right? Like it sounds like that was a little bit more better than whatever of the two. I know that both of them weren't successful, but at least it sounds like is what it was. So tell me in a second, what he or she was doing, like how was it, like the conversation? It's like, did you have like private calls, or it was sending you templates to, like, was it actually a person that was talking to you, or it's more like do this site and do this thing? How was the delivery part?
I think there were Skype calls. This was my very first one. This started when I became, I think this was 6 years ago. I think they called me on Skype for maybe an hour or something, and then she would give me, you know, stuff to do. But then she also had a YouTube channel.
Did she give you any support, like system to learn about keto, since that was a thing? Did you have any support group like other ladies like doing it with you? Like, did you have anything of that sense or no?
I don't, if you want me to be honest here, I feel that was one of the worst mistakes I made in my life.
I know.
To be honest with you, if you
I
want me
know,
to be
but
honest
what I
here,
want to do is like I want you
yeah,
to, I want, like, so that you in the future again, like I hope, Eddie, like I'm the right person for you, but even if I'm not, I want you to be able to kind of like understand what brings the results. And and after that I'm gonna show you exactly not only what to do, but it's like the point is, some people say I want a diet.
sorry about that.
No problem. I want a diet, or I want a nutrition workout, whatever. I feel like this is, or I want, like you said, or I want a call, right? And it's like they feel, these people, like
Oh,
people, like that's what you need, but essentially the way that you feel like you want to be coaching is not the reality that you need, right? So
yeah.
you said the worst mistake ever. I agree, but I want to show you why it was the worst mistake. If
And
this,
yeah. So no, it didn't. There was no monitoring. There was no guidance. It was just, you know, if I felt like I was stuck, I would pay for a call. Do you see what I mean? And she would say, "Oh, what have you been doing?" Blah 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 blah. Do you see? So it wasn't like a guidance. I didn't feel like I was being guided. I think that's what you're asking. How did it go?
yes.
Yeah. So it was just one of random. Yeah.
I'm basically asking, like, compared to what you feel like you might need or whatever got you to sign up with a coach before, how was the experience, in a sense that some people say I'm a diet away, and as long as I get that, I'm gonna succeed, only to try and fail. And then it's like, and the problem is, it's much not like about the, I mean, I was, yeah, it's just to shed light on how, you know, how other, let's say, other coaches sometimes work, but also on the sense that sometimes you don't even feel like I think I told you, I said, like, I don't even know if you're coachable at the moment, because it's like you need, first and foremost, is like you need to frame your mind to be successful, because if you don't believe you can be successful, nobody can. Like, and it's like dragging you, it's like dragging you, and it's like, okay, we're gonna pull you on the way, on the success line. I mean, I have to pull you. It's not like you don't sprint in there, right? And this is why I'm and again, it's crazy, but it is like that. And now I'm gonna, in a second, I'm gonna show you like what we're doing differently, and why it's working. Now, Elena, the same way, I don't know if I don't know if you work particularly with somebody before, only to not be happy, or like it's something that you never tried, like you never really try, you just left and
I
right
keep
looking
trying
for.
different diets. So I've tried calories restricting diets. I used to eat about 600 calories, which is very, very little. And lately I switched that to keto. I'm still in keto, but now that I see the carb cycling, I've tried to change that. I'm not sure if I did it correctly, to be honest, but yeah, I nothing works.
Problem is that you're not supposed to be on a diet right now. That's the thing. So
Okay.
we don't want to. I mean, essentially, I'll talk a bit about carb cycling if you want, but it's more about when is the time to diet. We call it diet. I call it nutritional lifestyle. Something that has to do with having a balance between carbohydrate. Like, we know that if we are in a sustainable deficit in calorie, if your protein are high, it's conclusive that is conclusive on the clinical trials and science that you could eat more fat, less carb. You could eat a blend of it, or opposite. Like, everything would work. Now, this is conclusive on science. But the problem, the world doesn't revolve around science. The world revolves around you having fun with your friend. Revolves about you cooking differently for your family. Revolves about feeling like you don't want to be like a Martian, because you cannot go out and eat for so. When we talk about everything that's happening on a person, men and women, when they age, like we said, we need muscle, or we need muscle tone, we need metabolically active body, and we need also to function well. We need something to function, like we need building blocks of the thyroid, we need protein, obviously, we need and carbohydrates, especially starches, which has been painted like a devil for years now. It's been proven to be the building block of the thyroid. It's been proven to be giving you performance, energy. It's been proven to make you, in a way, retain water inside the cell of the muscle, so that you can have more tone, right? It's been proved that if you do that correctly, like on an hypocaloric level, it's not insulin resistant. It's actually improved insulin sensitivity. When you have chronically over calories, it creates insulin resistant, which obviously that's the problem. People say, oh, I cannot eat carbs, I'm insulin resistant. Okay, what are you eating? Pizza. It's like, that's a combo of fat and carbs. Like, you don't try to eat, like, look at in the eastern side of the world, a lot of people on the eastern side. Have you ever seen an Asian that is fat? Like, most of them, like, they eat rice all the time and they're skinny. Of course, it's not fried rice. I mean, Chinese is, but I mean, it's not fried rice. It's not a combo of thing. I mean, you guys see like in Britain, I think you guys have more food that we do in Switzerland. But the point is, like, there is a lot of positivity, and I want to disrupt the industry. I want to give something for people to gravitate towards, that it reflects the reality. I don't want to first and foremost, I don't want to keep hearing these lies that carbs is the enemy, sugar is this, or vegan is the way to go, or keto is like, everything has a place. But the greatest thing that you can do, again, clinically proof with, for example, something like carb cycling, is that it sticks more to the adherence, meaning like you can stick to it for the rest of your life, because every day somebody can have a low carb day and you can be like, you're okay with that, a higher carb day that you can include in your, like, you can feed it everywhere while feeding keto forever. Even if you chose a low carb, let's say low carb for most people would be successful. Even if you did that, it would, like, you would have to either be in ketosis, and if you just get like 30 grams of carb more, like a fruit, like, you're out of ketosis. So for the pure clinical way they want you to do it, is already failing without you telling yourself that's what's happening. If you want to say I'm doing a low carb at the point, still it's very like, what are you doing when somebody's inviting you out, or when you have a date, or when like it's kind of annoying, right? I mean,
we don't
right?
eat.
Yeah, much like saying though, like if we do vegan or if we do high carb and low fat, that sucks too. It's like, okay, when you get like in front of a huge, if you like fish or meat, what are you doing when there is this fat in there? Like you cannot eat it, right? And everything like results is a balance of things. It's never about only one thing, and this is basically where we need to start. Thanks for sharing. The last question before we dive deep in, and I'm actually going to coach you on the solution for this. Why, and I hear this all the time, like, so it's not directly towards any judgment towards you, but why do you say, because you told me the other day, like I said, what's the plan? I don't know, I don't have a plan. Like, why is it that you think, or many people say, oh, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this thing, I'm going to keep trying? And like, why not, for example, saying, I want somebody, a coach or a mentor, somebody to take me to point Z, from A to Z, right? Successively. What is it when you think about the main objection on your mind and say, I'm not going to do it this way, right? And we're going to say it, money aside. Like let's take out money for a second. It could be a lot, it could be a little. I given away stuff in the past, like, and I don't, everybody's different depending on what they need. My things goes from, let's say, 100 pounds to maybe 2,000 or 3,000 pounds. It could be the scenario, right? I've given stuff away for free in the past, just for people not to do it, right? When you say, I rather go on my own, I rather try, and I know I'm failing, and maybe I'm going to try again. What's the main thing that makes you feel like somebody can do it alone?
I think failure, the fear of failure for the other person. So if you have a coach and he tells you what to do, and then you don't lose the weight or you don't get to the goal, then you've let them down. So that's an issue. But if it's yourself that you let down, it's not that big of an issue.
Can I disagree with you? I think that what you're scared of, and again, this is an eye-opener for everybody, is not a fear of failure, because you're basically failing every day. Hell, if you go to the gym, like, it's based on failure. It's like I'm doing my reps only to fail and be excited to do it again. What you're really scared of, I feel like you're scared of success, because you maybe never try it. Like you never really got there completely, or found a way. Even if you are the way you look in the past, you are not used to that, right? And humans are scared of the unknown. Like, we're not fearful of what we know, because we fail all the time, right? But we're scared of what we don't know. Like, because you're saying, if I get there, what's really going to happen? Like, is it going to be sustainable? Is it going to be? And again, this, I want to point out, this is unconscious. It's not something you say, oh, cool, like, I don't really want to be successful. It's unconscious most times, right? So I want you to maybe think, because it's always funny for me to ask this question. A lot of people tell me the same thing. I'm scared of failing. I was like, how are you scared of failing? Like, you tried before.
Yes.
So you're not really like, you know what it feels like, right? It sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
But what is, you have to ask yourself another question. It's like, how is it going to be so cool when I'm able to finally succeed? Because then I said, like, what did I say to you? I remember saying that to you. It's like, I don't think you're in enough pain for you to want to change. Because I said, okay, you do something, you stop, it's not working, it's get frustrating, but and I said, okay, this is the solution. I paint the solution for you. Like, I pretty much answered everything, I think, on that you asked me. Like, and I said, this is this. And I said, okay, let's take away, let's say, for example, the money aside, right? And I say, I think you are not yet, like, you're too comfortable in whatever comfort zone you have, even though it sucks, because if the pain of change exceeds the pain you are right now, most likely you're not going to change. This is something.
I don't have that. I don't feel I have that. So I'm not in a comfortable position right now. It's not a good position. So
it's not as painful as you changing, though, right?
It is painful. So that's why I want to change. So I'm at the point where I'm ready for a change, I feel.
I'm going to put you to the test. Okay, ladies, I'm gonna explain you now what's gonna happen from here. I just want you to, because I do, based on your decision, I'm gonna hold you to accountable. Do you feel like what I'm gonna say is obviously it's not something you have to do. It's not something that is hard to do, but it's something that you have to choose to do, that you are not gonna try to do or not do. Meaning like you're not gonna try, like either you are doing or you're not doing. Because like you're gonna post in the group, I'm really gonna dedicate time to you both. And it would be nice again if you choose to work on a way together, because it's a very extensive problem to fix, the metabolic restoration, but we're gonna try our best to make it like something that I can coach people to do on a sense. Again, it requires a little bit of work, but at least like I really feel like based on the fact that you're in this thing and you're in this, like basically the way you are in, it's something that can change the view of you seeing your results. And again, I need you to say, yes, I'm gonna do it though. Like either, or I respect everything decision. I am or I'm not. Like I can respect that. I'm trying, I don't like. It's like, because like a very little story about that. Like I was in my master not so long ago in marketing, and there was this thing about, I don't know if you guys know it, Tableau, which is a software you download for the analytics. And I was in my analytic class, and my computer, not this computer, the other one, was struggling. And I said to the professor, I'm gonna try to download it, because I feel like it's like you need to download it, because otherwise you can do the exercise, you cannot get the grade. And I said, okay, I'm gonna try. And he said, no, you're not gonna try. You're either gonna do it or you're not. Guess what? If you don't, you're not gonna get that grade. You're not gonna pass. What do you think I did?
You passed.
I was able to somehow do it, right? So this is what I'm saying. Like even if it's not easy, you guys wanna, like, you do your best to do it. Now, without going into the specific, you feel free to ask me everything you want later. But with like, I understand kind of like what's happening, and you can be as specific as you want. But I really feel like to maximize, more so to not maximize time, but maximize the effectiveness of you understanding the context. Like I'm painting a picture already, in a sense that you both are undernourished, you both are doing years of dieting or extreme approaches, and this is why you need to, at this point, as we share this, let me just share it one more time. Hopefully, it's still here. You are in the position that you need to prime. We like to call it prime your metabolism. Okay, so it's the one thing here on the bottom. Okay, now what happens is that you need to understand, let me just stop sharing what is the body composition part. So you need to understand the difference between body composition and gain weight, okay? What I will need you to do, and this is just for you to give context, right? What I need you to get is one of these things. If you have this one, the caliper is not important, we're not gonna do it this way. But if you have like a tape measurement, it's something that you're gonna need to do. I'm gonna put a module. I'm gonna put a module exactly like how to take measurements, how to take pictures. Again, if you want to be doing this correctly, like you post your stuff in there, right? And you can even tag each other on that. And you.
Sorry, you can what?
I'm sorry.
Tag each other. Okay, got it.
You can just say, you can message each other, or you can do whatever like you want.
Yeah.
The point is that measurements, waist and everything, like circumference, like, yeah, I'm trying to, and again, apology for me not to, I did not put like a module in there yet for this, but the point is that we need a few metrics. Number one, you can write it down. We need weight, right? We need to measure.
Can I ask, it changes a lot. Like in the morning,
I know,
this is very small. In the evening,
right,
it's very, very big.
This is what I'm gonna show you how to do it. Meaning like, in fact, let me just stop sharing this for a second. Let me just use the slide of the, because we need validation on measurements every time that you do something, to see, not for you to get a, this is why I talked before about why would you feel about your body, because you need to get emotionally detached from what these measurements are gonna be like if you want to do this thing correctly. Because the point is that weight is not as important as you think, right? I'm gonna share maybe at some point, maybe tomorrow or something inside the group, an application that you can download to help you with the weight, right? It's called Episcale. Like I'm gonna show you how to use it. It's not talking about the weight on a real sense. It's talking about a fluctuation, because women change their weight maybe like 5 times in a week. So you're not alone. It's not something that you feel like, okay, my weight is like this. But like what we need to get into, and I'm going to share this right now, is this. We need to get into your ability to get from here to here, for example, changing relatively much the percentage of fat. But, and again, it's going to look different, but this is the sense. You could weigh the same or maybe 1 kilo less and be that, right? And we only know only do that if we're able to take the measurements, if we're able to take weight, but not as an emotional trigger, but for you to see what to do. And this is kind of like the way you take weights. You can rewatch this, by the way, after. This is the two way I want you to track the weight. You weigh yourself every day and you use a median weight at the end of the week. Median weight, okay? So you take the 3 lower, the 3 higher, and you take the median, which is not the average, it's the median, okay? If you forget to weigh yourself, it happens we forget, you take you forget 2 days, for example, you take the lower and the highest on the week, right? And you take the median again, okay? This is a way for you to gather data, much like when you walk and you gather data, right? And you say, okay, this is my weight, and you do that. When it comes to measurements, you measure yourself every week, not every day. You take 3 measurements. You take the, I'm gonna post a video about it. You take 3 measurements, one on the hip, one on the waist, and one on, if I'm not mistaken, is there are several you can take. I have to see if I'm not mistaken, the chest. But you're gonna take that, and I don't want you to make a calculation and say, oh, I'm this fat percentage. I just want you to see if they become smaller, they stay the same, or they get bigger, okay? We're not doing that on purpose of saying, cool, now I'm 15%. Ooh, I'm 30. No, we're doing a metabolic reset. We need to see what happens on the physiology. So weight versus body composition. And the second metrics is the way you feel, the way you feel about yourself, meaning like the real symptoms that show up. Let me just share this is very much easy to see where they are. And what, why am I not, well, let me see, what are they? Body feedback. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Body feedback is this. It might be an overload right now, Hedy, but like you're gonna just don't stress yourself, like you can watch this again. In anger, sleepiness, mood swing, insomnia, like when you hunger versus cravings. Am I having energy? I don't have like all the main feedbacks that are dictated from cortisol, which is usually water retention, sleep, all that. All these things by nature need to go away. They need to decrease. In other words, and Elena, this is kind of what's going to go down for you as well. Like you want to start prioritizing sleep for some reason. It doesn't matter if you, like me, I have trouble when I sleep. I wake up sometimes from a noise or whatever. I cannot sleep anymore, or I have fragmented sleep, or whatever the case is. You need to prioritize it. How are your hormones? But you prioritize that first. More sleeps give you less hunger susceptibility, make you binge less, or whatever the case is, even though you told me that that's not particularly your case, but that's one thing that you want to be doing. But as a result, we're looking at physiology, we're looking at psychology, what's happening, like the feedback of the body, not much psychology, but the feedback of the body. And now we're gonna do what we're doing, and we said we forget about everything when it comes to diets, right? And you know that, like based on our discussion, you're probably around maybe 800 to 1,000 calories, more or less. That's what it was for a while. Even if you are in keto, chances are it's not much more. And we're gonna slowly raise the ladder. Meaning, like, I'm gonna show you, like right now, we're gonna eat a little bit more every week, and we're gonna see what happens. 3 things are gonna happen. And again,
I'm gonna get fatter. I mean, it worries me if I eat so little.
Yeah, but listen, like there is no Elena, there is no other way, unfortunately. Like I said before, you take 6 months to fix a problem of 6 years or 1 year, whatever the case is. There is no quicker way.
Okay.
Make sense? I know it's painful, and again, it's not about I'm gonna get fatter, but it's about saying, okay, won't I want to fix an issue that is gonna make me feel a lot better in the future? Because that's what for sure you are in that, because you have cortisol issue that you can detect on a lab. You are in what is called metabolic dysfunction. You need to get out of the situation as quick as possible, because the next diet you try, is going to make this thing worse. And longer, by the way, longer, more time. So that's what you think you're going to gain weight. There is usually three things that happens. Most people lose weight, actually, because like you are here, like this is where your maintenance is, your calories here, so low, and your body's shutting down because you feel like you're creating famine. When you are doing this slowly, when you're doing this, your body will understand that you're giving food, but yet you haven't reached your maintenance, and you start releasing fat. Most of people that like there is three scenarios, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You either lose weight, and this is some people, most of the people, there is a good part of it that stay the same, and there is a smaller part that gain weight. If you gain weight, we stop, we find another alternative. And it's then when I'm reach out at you and we do that, let's say we do that 10 times, and I'm reach out at you and I said, Elena, we actually need to actually work together. Like it's more difficult than we thought, right? There is two problems. Time, like it takes time, and it takes very good sense of what you're doing. Because the one thing I cannot really do usually on a message is that I don't know if you are doing it correctly, if you're underreporting calorie, if you're doing that. So, but on a sense, I'm gonna give you two little framework that you can choose from. But I'm gonna show it both because some people might be a person that like to do it differently. And I'm gonna just put up a screenshot right now. Both of them are equally as easy as they are difficult. It's just saying like we need to find a way for you to know that you're eating enough, but also for you to be able to have a sense of awareness around your nutrition. So we know that based on how many times you want to be eating, you need to hit, I want to say, the frequency doesn't matter, but I'm going to say probably to wake up your metabolism a little bit, you're going to start eating more frequently, right? More frequently. So we're talking about maybe 3 smaller meals is better than one that is big in amount of calories, right? You told me, AJ, like you have a hard time eating more than 800 calories because now your body got adapted.
Because I'm not hungry.
Right. So what's going to happen is that, again, I said many would like to have this problem, but not to be hungry. But that's this is what it is. Like you're going to eat liquid food, meaning like you're going to make a shake of protein. You're going to make like you're going to get some fruit in there, some almonds, like you're going to shake the whole thing, and you're going to do maybe 1 meal or 2 meal, whatever you're doing right now that is 800 calories, you're going to add that thing. That's an intuitive way for you to eating, right?
Yeah. Can I ask a quick question?
Sure, go ahead.
You said fruits, but what fruits are okay for insulin resistance?
No, again, like you're getting into a detail right now. Like that's
okay.
The main.
So I shouldn't think about insulin resistance for now.
You're not thinking on that right now. Like so, I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you here. What I would do for you, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna prospectively use you guys. Like I'm gonna say, okay, we're doing this. Like intuitive and tracking is kind of like the two way we can go, right? But I'm like what I'm saying based on what easier for you, because I know that you're eating 800 calories is definitely too little, right? And we need to give your body more. An extra 300 calorie would put you up to 1200, for example, which can be a shake, for example, right? Okay. And you can, and to see that, I made a video about it, right? And this is kind of like that. You find this in the guides. Level 1 nutrition, which is basically you can calculate your own daily need right now, right? But we don't need, like we know already that you eat less than what it needs anyway. Like this is gonna come out with your daily need theoretically, it's gonna be 1500, 1700 calories. You don't want, the last thing you wanna do right now to go from 800 to 1700. You're gonna retain a lot of water, you're gonna gain weight. You're gonna, and you're gonna say to yourself, this is not working.
Yeah.
But instead, if you just add an extra meal, what's gonna happen then? You are going to be like, again, we're gonna try this for a week. The whole week, you're gonna do an extra shake. You're gonna eat. I also told you that you should not, in my opinion, just eat broccoli and rice and chicken. Something like you should eat something that you like, actually, like you need food. But let's say you didn't change anything, right? I would just add, if the issue is you not being hungry, we fix that with liquid food. If somebody's watching right now, the issue is they are hungry and they eat a bunch of juices, you just eat volume food. Like you just take, like it goes the opposite. You see how when you understand the context, you don't need a diet because you understand how nutrition works. And you kind of laugh in people's face, oh, you need keto. I mean, why? All you're doing is really reducing a bunch of calories, and you're reducing a bunch, like a food group, which obviously is not really the devil. How I want to show you how you like, based on that, like you see here, you watch this and it's like a meal, like a total why it's called intuitively eating, because it's not because stop myself here. This is what a meal should look like, and you can watch this video, the whole thing, if you want to, like, let's say intuitively, right? You want to say, I'm just gonna hit 1,500 calories. What you're gonna do, you know that, 500 calories of one meal, you eat 3 of them, for example. You just paint the picture you want. You take 100 calories of this, which is a fruit, 100 calories of this. You take 100 calories of this. You take 100 calories of this, and you include Coke. And then you make up a meal that you want. There is nothing such, oh, the watermelon is insulin resistance, not gonna work. Like, this is what makes people fail all the time. It's like they stop because they are not sure of the lie of one meal or one food is bad versus not. This is why I'm saying that the first thing people need when they come into here is to learn. The second thing they need is to apply what you're learning. We go back into, when we go back into this for a second. Let me see what happened to my slide. Oh, it's not this one. When we go back to this, you see on the side that is like commitment, knowledge, and everything, right? Like, so you need to learn, and this is why I want to give perspective when we said, that why another approach didn't work, is because the other approach should have had something like, if you love keto, for example, you should have had a learning phase of keto, an application phase of keto, and then accountability and quote unquote optimization phase, meaning like how, when you hit a brick wall that you don't know what to do, how are we going to optimize? And this is why this work is working so well, because first you get the teaching, like you get a website, all the lesson you need to learn. You apply it, and you can only apply it when you post and when you interact with each other, when you, like I said before, you get vulnerable. And then thirdly, it's more so like, I'm really going to learn that it's never about a end results. It's more about how do I maintain what I'm doing? Because the quote unquote normal I was before is not working. Like, whatever got me there. Like, again, it's not the case, ladies. For most people, it's like that though, okay? So the second one that I want to kind of like show you how you can operate on, and again, I don't know, like you mentioning about, I believe also you, Helena, you mentioned about counting calorie before, like you're proficient on that. Counting calorie is something that, in my opinion, works well if you're able to understand how it works. And this is also one way that you can do it. You choose one of these, MyFitnessPal or whatever the case is. If that brings emotionally attachment, is like, if you get really, like, I used to do that, and sometimes to get, that's not the right way to do it. But essentially, if you are at 1,000 calories, you just add 10% of the calorie, and then you just add, which is usually an extra snack or whatever, and you can do that as well. I'm gonna put a module inside to that, like that. There is gonna be 2 ways you guys can go, but essentially this at this point is what needs to happen. You need to really raise that. You need to raise slowly your calorie, choosing whatever you want to choose, right? And every week you are putting a check-in and you say, okay, my weight changed like this, my measurement and my feedback. At some point, they're going to blend together. The weight is doing something, and then the measurement, like the feedback, are doing something else. And then when you essentially get into a position that you no longer gain weight, and you stay either the same or you lose it, and your symptoms have gone away, that's a good place to start with the next diet or with the next nutrition approach. Make sense?
Yes.
Now you know where to go. We have 10 minutes left. I want to give each other a possibility if you have any questions specifically you want to be asking. Otherwise, I'm just gonna tag you in specific things to do. And like I said, we're gonna share this. And I really feel like, first, I want to thank you in advance because it was great. Secondly, I really feel like all of you got something out of this, which probably you didn't get in the past. And again, I'm here to give success into this group, and we can only do that when we're clear on what we're doing. Anyway, anything you want to ask Addie? Anything you want more clarity on? We have 80 minutes, so there is plenty of time.
No, just not very clear where to find the calories with the pictures.
It's in the guide of the group, but I'm gonna be tagging you on that. Like I'm gonna be tagging you on that. I am going to be putting in a video about the next probably want to say a few days. I'm gonna put in a guide about how to weigh yourself and on that. So that I'm also gonna tag you because that's kind of step number one. And obviously about the feedback, the biofeedback, we know you understand that like you can, when you post, I'm gonna get back at you and I'm gonna say, okay, cool. Your weight is like that, how your hunger is, how your sleep is like, and then you just have to answer that. And other people are gonna see that and it's like, oh, cool, that's something that is great.
Okay.
Eddie, anything? You have any question?
I think I'm okay. Yeah, sorry, just one question actually. One question about frequency of meals. You know, is it okay to try to have just 3 rather than, I mean, 3 meals a day rather than 6 or 5? Is it still okay to sort of?
There is no clinically or scientifically, there is no, it's proven that this doesn't make any difference. Doesn't really make it. It's more about how easier it is for your schedule. It's more about what you like more. But it, you know, there is always saying, like I said, there is scientific and then there is empirical research, meaning like we can study science all the time, but then when you prove it in ourselves, it's different. So I would say one thing that works well for me and also coaching other people is that every time you break homeostasis, which is like the balance of your body, is something new. In other words, and this is funny to maybe for other people to hear it. If you're a person that does breakfast all the time, if you eat the same calories the whole day and you change that around and you don't have breakfast and then you get the calorie later on, you essentially break the homeostasis. Sometimes you break away plateau. Likewise, the opposite. You never have breakfast and you add it in, right? So it's like, in a sense, there is other unexplained things that never been studied because they're very hard to study on a clinic, on a lab, that if you do that, that's improved. For my personal experience, when I don't see, and this is what I do essentially when I coach people, because we have this kind of conversation on, let's say, on a weekly basis when we're in a program. And this is like what, like the little nuggets that people get. It's like, okay, we tried everything and it's not working. Okay, just try to switch. Let's try to make smaller meals and see what happens, right? And sometimes it's enough. Like I had a lady in the past, she was stuck and we were doing everything right. And I said, what the hell are we gonna do now? She just changed that around. The scale changed, like in 3 days, she let go of 3.5 kilo, like in 3 days, 2 days, something crazy. So it's like, there are things that science can't explain, but again, right now, watching that frequency for you is more so to say, I think that you benefit more of you choosing the frequency you prefer. And I really feel like adding a liquid meal will do much better because you're getting, essentially you can do a meal replacement. You can get one, or you can just make your own. But when everything is kind of like blend in, you also get absorbed faster. So like you're not necessarily also you shouldn't see like a huge weight difference at all. You absorb it much better when it's blend. And I feel like your body needs nourishment right now. Another thing you guys both want to do right now at the point, just so you can have a metrics, do not walk a lot, do not do output, do not do cardio, do not exercise. Do not do anything at the moment. Let's start fresh, because sometimes I had people with the same issue. They just take off the exercise and they didn't want to do it. And I said, you just do it. And after a week, they lost weight because it's calorie and exercise. It's like, this is the deficit, and you keep doing more and more and more. Oh, I'm doing the diet, it's not working. Oh, maybe I should exercise more. Boom, another calorie. Okay, this is not working. I'm gonna, and you don't understand that that's a problem. So do not, despite the challenge we're doing there, hold yourself a little bit. If it involves exercising, workouts, do not do it. Let me give me the benefit of the doubt. Let's try it for a few weeks. If it doesn't happen, then we can try something different, but try, because I'm sure that you are in the right way. Okay. Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much, ladies, for your time. For those of you
for your time.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. For those of you watching, if you want to be in the same situation these two ladies are, there is one more spot left. Comment me below. That's gonna give me the ability to reach out and actually see if I can help you. Addie, Elena, thank you so much. And
thank you, Jerry.
Wait for your next step. I am going to send you a very detailed on the tag what to do. And then I'm expecting for your post so that I can, it's always going to be a conversation back and forth. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I wish you a great night.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.